Being a modern day vegan is not healthy. You see it all the time. A lot of these people don't look healthy. Now, I know from personal experience. From 19 years old to 21, I was vegan. Now, I didn't feel healthy. As a matter of fact, when I turned 20 years old, my hair loss started to intensify a lot. Now, I'm not saying it was purely because I was a vegan, but I can say, like hindsight 2020, 100%, me being vegan has something to do with me losing my hair, especially so rapid at an early age. Now, we about to get into it with this video. I'm going to let him explain why modern day veganism is not as healthy as a lot of people think. And then I'll come back and explain to you guys a little bit more about what I think. Let's get into it.
If you're vegan and you feel like it's probably because you're malnourished. If the body doesn't have the proper nutritional requirements, it will catabolize its own tissue to feed the brain. Vegan diets can be good as a whole food diet with fruits and vegetables that cleanse the body for short periods of time, let's say 3 to 6 months. You can feel euphoric, especially if you're coming from a standard American diet of junk food, processed foods, etc. Vegan diets can be cleansing and they can be healing. However, long term, I had my own experience and I went through a process called gluconeogenesis where my body was breaking down its own tissue to feed the brain. I was skinny fat. I had dark circles underneath my eyes because I was malnourished. Many of the long-term vegans I've seen in the health food stores in Los Angeles and around the world in my travels, they look drained. And so premature aging, and overall low energy, dry skin, gray skin, and also there's a psychological component.
All right, hold up. Wait. So just to stay there for a second. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like being vegan, this guy kind of just said being vegan for a short period of time, kind of like going on a 2-week cleanse diet or a 3-month cleanse diet. Is basically that's what is the most optimal veganism that you can do, right? Because once you get past that, your body starts to eat itself. That's basically what happens. Your body starts to eat itself. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my own story. I was vegan. I turned vegan in July of 2019. It was like July of 2019. When I was vegan in July of 2019, it was 2018 or 2019, one of those years. Now, when I was vegan though, I turned vegan in July. From July to January, I lost 65 pounds. I went from weighing about 230, I was about 230, 240 to about 170, 180. So I lost a lot of weight in a short period of time. I had family looking at me like, yo, are you okay? Like a lot of people close to me were like thinking I was probably doing drugs or something, like some hard stuff. It was kind of bad, but it was pure vegan. And I felt fine because that was 6 months, right? Now I was vegan, as I told y'all, for 2 years. Now, here you heard what dude said. He said 3 to 6 months, you feel cleansed, like you feel clean. I was cleansed, I was clean, I felt really good. After this 6 months cleanse thing, I actually started to become weak, like weak in the gym, weak, just feeling kind of weak, like really just weak. So I ended up getting a blood test done. Once I got a blood test done, I found that I was like vitamin deficient on some things. But then about, I would say 6 months later, so about a year into me being vegan, is when I really started noticing my hair loss like pick up a lot, like a lot. I was also doing, actually I didn't even start doing Rogaine. I was doing Rogaine, but I didn't start it during that time. I wasn't even doing Rogaine during that time. It was like my hair loss really picked up when I became vegan. Now, when you think about it, like I said, 3 to 6 months, like this guy just said, you are in that phase of like basically you're cleansing your body from all the processed foods that you always had throughout your life. Now, when you go 6 months to a year, now your body, like this guy just said, I don't know what the name was, glycolysis, something like that. But basically what he said is your body starts to eat itself. Now your body starting to eat itself, now you become deficient. Like you say, yeah, drains, circle around the eyes. Now he obviously has a head full of hair. So it could work for different people different ways and just genetics and a whole bunch of things, right? But what I'm saying is me being vegan did not help my case because now I ended up taking a lot of vitamins. But not only did I take vitamins, I also started eating that fake meat, the gardenia meat, the Beyond the meat. Now, I feel like when I became vegan, it was like a trend. It just was a whole trend. Everybody became vegan. They started having a fake meat. It was like a whole thing, right? Like that's when everything really started popping off. If you look back at it, right? It was like 2018, 2019. Now, when I started eating this fake meat, I felt kind of okay, right? Because I would eat like lentils to like make it kind of like meat. Lentils kind of, you can do like lentil tacos. I would do like lentil tacos, black bean tacos, stuff like that, right? But either way, I wasn't getting the same vitamins that I was getting when I was actually in a healthy eating diet, a full complete diet, a complete diet of all my nutrients, everything I need to eat. I wasn't getting all that by eating all this processed meat. So for me, fast forward a whole year, because like I said, it wasn't until I was about a year vegan when they introduced the processed meat and all that. Before that, it wasn't really that much processed meat. When about a year into being vegan, there was ground beef processed meat. There was Impossible Burgers at White Castle's. There was all the vegan stuff you can think about that's here today. That was what got here like a year into me being vegan. So I became vegan for like another year. I decided to stay vegan. Now me staying vegan that whole other year, I just didn't feel healthy. I didn't feel healthy. It got to the point where I was, like I said, I was becoming weaker in the gym. I developed a habit of hiking. I really enjoyed hiking. So on my hikes, I recognized how weak I started to become, like how feeling my hair loss was intensifying. There was just so much that was going bad that it got to the point where I went to the doctor. I got the vitamin test and all that. But I also was like, yo, let me just eat meat. If they're telling me to take all these different vitamins, I'm feeling so weak. I'm feeling like just deficient in my stomach. I was skinny fat. Like I was not, like I lost a lot of weight. Like I said, 60 pounds, but it wasn't like I was cut up. Like I wasn't cut. Like I wasn't anything like that. If anything, like I said, I was weaker. I was like frail, bro. Like look at my wrist. Like right now, like my wrist probably was like two of my fingers. Like I was frail. So me, like I hadn't weighed. That's like the least I'd weighed since high school type stuff, right? So me feeling like this, feeling frail, I decided to reintroduce meat back into my diet, bro. And it's the rest is history. It's been great ever since. You know what I'm saying? Let's finish the story. Yo, but let me know, like, how has your process been being vegan? Like, let me know in the comments.
Aren't adhering to their religious ideals or their idealistic tribalism of vegan, then they can get quite imbalanced mentally and emotionally, get quite angry that everybody is not eating as they think they should. This is a dangerous trap. And so some of the more healthy vegans, they don't play that psychologically trapped game that I see. And I don't meet a lot of long-term healthy vegans. I know that they're out there. However, long-term, I see more malnourishment and premature aging in plant-based human beings. Also, when you're eating a lot of plants, there are plant proteins, enzyme inhibitors, phytic acids, lectins, etc. These can be affecting your body and your joints and your body's ability to break those things down. If you want to look into a more traditional diet, I recommend reading
All right, so yeah, he's about to talk about a book, but yeah, just to stay right there for a second about the mindset. Now, I can tell you firsthand, bro, when I was vegan, and I don't know if like y'all watching this, let me know the same thing if you're a vegan. I felt like nobody should eat meat. Like I was like looking at people like, why are they eating that? Like I was like low key being judgmental. Like, yo, why are they eating that? Like, what are they doing? That's nasty. This is unhealthy for you. This is that. This is that. I watched all the documentaries. You know what I'm saying? Everything you could think of. Like I watched and ingratiated myself into that life, embedded myself into it. So me being completely vegan, I did come from a place, hindsight, I can say I was judging, but in the moment, it was actually out of love. Like, I'm like, yo, they shouldn't eat this. Like, this is so unhealthy. This is so, like, so you feel like it's out of love. So I'm not going to say people be like, you know what I'm saying, being mean or something, but I think, like, that in and of itself, I do feel like when people are vegan, they feel the need to force it on the people for some reason. I was like that, so I know firsthand. And I got over it eventually, right? Because people going to do what they want to do. But in the beginning, I would say like the first year of me being vegan, I was like, yo, I don't know why they eating that. Like, this is disgusting. Just like all that kind of stuff. Now, I can say, just to stay on that note, it also made me feel like when I stopped becoming vegan or when I stopped being vegan, I kind of felt like I didn't want to be a hypocrite because I recognized how much I was like, yo, stop being vegan or stop eating meat and all this kind of stuff, telling other people to stop. So I didn't want to become a hypocrite, but at the same time, I genuinely in my soul felt like they should stop doing that, right? So yeah, it's certainly an interesting thing when you in that vegan life, man. And also he's about to talk about how basically your body there's a more traditional diet. That's what he was about to talk about there, but basically just talking about how the enzymes and everything that come from milk and all this stuff that's back to the earth kind of diet. That kind of diet is a more healthy diet than being vegan. Something to think about. I know there's a lot of people out there that think being vegan is the cure all be all. I think being vegan is a short-term fix. I don't think it's a long-term lifestyle that you really want to adopt. Now, some people, if they adopt it, you gotta really adopt it right. Like you said, you don't know many long-term healthy vegans. I know some people that are vegan, and to each his own. But when I'm talking about like when you think of like the reason of being vegan, the reason that people become vegan, sometimes it's just to clear out their diet and clear the system. Other times people become vegan because they're trying to increase their muscle mass, right? Like they want to become more cut up, they want to become shredded. So I get that. But at the same time, it's really challenging to really live that kind of life. If you really, because like people don't talk about this, but it's more expensive, it's less cost effective, it's cheaper to be unhealthy than to be healthy. If you really want to be healthy, it costs. It costs to really be healthy. Like really be healthy. I'm not saying like you're a vegan but you're only eating beyond the meat burgers. I'm talking about like no, you're a vegan but you're trying to make sure you get all your greens in you, trying to make sure you get enough protein each day, all your levels. Like you got to eat so much healthy food, and healthy food costs more than your regular unhealthy food, right? Like a bag of chips costs more than a cucumber. Like it's kind of, I mean, costs less than a cucumber. Excuse me. A cucumber 77 cents. You get a bag of chips, at least you got to spend 50 cents at least. One cucumber 77 cents. So it's just stuff like that, man. To be really healthy, you're going to pay a lot more money to actually get all your nutrients when you're being vegan. A lot of people aren't real vegan, like from the standpoint of like making sure they got all their healthy nutrients by being purely vegan. There's certain stuff like you can't supplement chicken without taking some kind of vitamins to really supplement it. Unless you're really making sure that you got all your levels and making sure you're eating all your meals when you're vegan. For the real vegans out there, they got to eat a lot of food because they're eating a lot of plants. And those plants, you burn it up fast. So it's like in order to really be a healthy vegan, you got to eat a lot. And you got to eat a lot of healthy stuff. And that healthy food requires a bigger grocery budget. So it's like, bro, all these little things add up, man. So I'm just saying, being vegan, like if you're thinking about being vegan, do you? But it ain't is what it's all cracked up to be. And like I said, for me, it certainly has something to do with me losing my hair quicker when I was younger. It certainly, like without a doubt, it did. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all think being vegan is really worth it? Like, do you think being vegan in today's modern era, for one, is it worth it? And is it really healthy? Like for real? Let me know. All right. Appreciate you watching. As always, you know what to do. Get to stepping, get to stepping, get to stepping. Hey.